Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And I have a candle here that I light that has 2 wicks. And the first wick I light represents spirit, God, mind, the creator, whatever you want to call all that is. And then the second one represents us, individuals. Oh, come on. Well, assume I get it lit. Having problems. Anyways, when you light that second one, we have a greater glow, and it shows us as community that we are one with spirit. So with that, um, Tim, would you like to do an opening song for us?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sorry, need to be on the ball here.
It's okay.
I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. One more time, affirm it to yourself. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are.
Thank you, Tim. That was beautiful. And if anybody noticed, I got it lit. I took a cat, found this match, and I lit the other one. So
I see your light.
yes, absolutely. Okay. So today, Carol Ann is going to be talking to us on. I know it's about the sunshine.
Seeing with fresh eyes.
Seeing with fresh eyes. Okay, that's what it was. And then next week is it John or you, Michael? It's John, isn't it? Which one?
I don't know. We'll discuss it later. I think it's me.
I think it's you. And then I know I'm the third, and then whoever, if it's not you, John, whatever, the fourth week.
We'll make it happen.
It happens.
Number one.
Somebody will be there. That's right. So Anyway, so that's what's going on. And I am going to let Kyle in for the group. And then I'm going to let Michael, he's going to do the Science of Mind 365 and the meditation with after Tim starts the meditation song.
Well, this is one of my favorite analogies that Ernest Holmes uses. And it says, he quotes from Ecclesiastes 11:3. He says, if a tree falls towards the south or towards the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. From Ecclesiastes 11. He says, we are all spiritual mental broadcasting stations. There's a silent force flowing from us in every direction at all times. How necessary it is that we should assume the role of the announcer and also the broadcaster. How necessary is it that we write our own program and deliver it ourselves? When a person speaks into a microphone in a broadcasting station, his words are carried to the far corners of the earth where they are reproduced. But the force that carries them is mechanical. It's electromechanical, but we're not going to, that's what it says. It's a law, it's a vibration. And it's a law that actually reproduces the words he speaks, the intonations, the inflections. And now along this word that is broadcast goes a picture, an image of his personality. This is what we see in television, as though he were suddenly present everywhere. And the picture looks like him because it was his image, his likeness that created it. And so it is with our reaction of the law of good from a power greater than ourselves. It tends to bring back to us exactly what goes out. But we are always the broadcasters, and we can change the picture if we will. That was a reading from Science of Mind 365.
Would you mind leading us into meditation now? Oh, you need to unmute.
Might help.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'll paint a picture with the guitar.
So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. Release, relax, just let go. Become centered in your chair and just go deep. Deep within you, deep beyond the body. Deep beyond everything that you've ever known. And just go inside. Turn within. Feel that pure essence, that pure spirit. That is truly what you are. The truth is that we are one with this infinite life, this infinite presence and power, this infinite love and peace. And again, as we take the deep breath in, inhale and exhale, just becoming focused on the heart. Again, know with me that there is nothing but love. That there is nothing but love. No matter what is going on in the world, there is nothing but love. For love is all that there is. And as Ernest Holmes talked about, is that we are constantly broadcasting out to the world that which we are, our consciousness, our awareness. So using that analogy, we now just broadcast love, and we broadcast peace, and we broadcast good to the world. And if there's anyone who we hold resentment or anger towards, my question is this: would you rather be right, or would you rather be happy? So if you'd like to be happy today, just release it and let that go. Just let it go. Let it completely and totally go. And allow yourself to broadcast love. And I know that this picture that we are broadcasting here on Facebook and on other social media, we just know that, again, it goes forth to take this powerful message that and this powerful experience that we have as community each and every week to the world. So not only do we broadcast love to the world, but we allow our community to broadcast love to the world. So we just give great thanks for this day, and we give great thanks for the gift of music through Tim, and the gift of expression through Diana, and each and every person here, and the gift of a wonderful talk through Carol Ann. For each and every person, again, we're here because of divine appointment. Because we said yes to that great power and presence that's within us. To be here, to allow us to be who we truly are, and that is the divine I am. So for all of this, again, I just give great thanks, because I know that it is so today on this beautiful sunny day here in Ohio. And we just allow, again, our light to shine, our love to shine to the whole world. And for that, I just give great thanks. If you do agree with me, please say with me, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. And as you open your eyes and you come back to the room, please take a moment to look into your camera and see that magnificent, beautiful spirit of each and every person that is in those eyes. And because that is, and hello, Kyle, we're happy to see you here today. So, so yes, so thank you. And again, thank you to Tim for switching his day for doing music to cover for John. I appreciate that very much. So, all right. So now that we got to see everybody, I'm turning this over to Carol Ann, where she's going to talk about fresh awareness today. And it is all, thank you, Carol Ann. It's all yours.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Seeing with fresh eyes. And thank you for that beautiful meditation that really is bringing us into saying yes to life, which is what Seeing with Fresh Eyes is about. And then Tim, that beautiful song that you did to on I See You. I mean, it just, I am always so amazed at how these services come together with the divine orchestration of the universe. It just, to me, says, yes, God is here, God is good, and here we are. So let's take a moment and do a quick survey. And the question is, how's your life working for you? And on a scale to 1 to 10, with 1 being horrible, forget it, It's just, I'm really having a rough time. 5 being, kind of typical. I got a good routine, I'm just kind of going on. And 10 being, hey, things are really flowing well. I'm enjoying life, most of the time, and I feel really good. So, and you don't have to say your number, but just for yourself, take a look at how your life is working for you. Just think for a moment of how you woke up this morning. Did you work up with your mind very busy thinking of things of the day and you had to do? Did you wake up with a quiet mind? Was there a smile on your face? Was the sun pouring in the room, waking you up? How did you wake up and start your day? Yeah. Just think about that, because when we wake up groggy, when we wake up tired, we have a choice right then and there to stay in groggy, tired, or to say, hey, this is the day, this is today, and this is going to be my best day yet. I love SpongeBob SquarePants. He has such a wonderful, wise, wise little sponge. And he sang a song, and my kids would go around the house singing it. Today's a wonderful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today's a wonderful day because today's a wonderful day. And I think they programmed me, because it is one of the things that pops into my mind when it looks like things might be turning south for me. I just, have that simple reminder there. Take a look at breakfast. Did you just kind of go in routine and fix your breakfast kind of half asleep, or were you awake and enjoying it? You might have skipped it. All these little things are opportunities for us to see them fresh and with new eyes. Did you have time this morning? Do you have time in the morning to have a quiet time? To wake up, have that quiet time, and it can just be sitting in quiet contemplation. It could be reading something beautiful. Did you take time? Did you take time to bless your day, to bless your family and your neighbors? All these things help us see the world with fresh eyes. This morning when I got up, I woke up to the sunshine, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is so wonderful. A little bit earlier than what I expected, because on the weekend, uh, allow myself to just wake up whenever I want to. Uh, but most of us, all of us, really have routines, whether they are strict routines or whether they are fairly flexible, because routines give us, kind of a sense of control, a sense of safety and security. And when we kind of get out of our routine, it takes a while sometimes to get back into it. But routines can also be like blinders on a horse. I lived in Millersburg for 8 years and got very used to seeing the Amish carriages, and their horses always had blinders on. And if you've never seen a blinders on the horse, they're just put on the sides like this, so the horse won't get distracted by anything. And that's really what our routines do to us. They keep us on track. They keep us focused to move ahead. And routines can be very helpful. They can also at times hinder us and take away our flexibility. Another way to look at that is, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always had. I'll say it again. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always had. That reminds me, my dad would tell the story uh, about one of his coworkers. My dad was a school teacher, and in the summertime he worked construction. And one of the guys on the construction site would come in, and back in those days in the 50s, you brought your lunch, and he would come in and he'd sit down at lunch, and everyone had a thermos. You'd sit down at lunch, he'd open it up, and he would say the same thing every day. Cheese sandwiches. I always have cheese sandwiches. I don't even like cheese sandwiches. I always have every day. He said the same thing. And finally, Dad one day said to him, well, Harry, if you don't like cheese sandwiches, why don't you tell your wife and get something else? He says, I can't. I make my lunch myself. I said that. My dad he just laughed because he had recognized, his friend had recognized the problem, but he was doing nothing to change it. What would happen if we saw things with fresh eyes and began to look at things differently? What would happen if one thing in our morning routine when we get up that we change just to see what it would feel like? I have the option of getting out of either side of the bed. And every now and then I will decide, get out the other side of the bed, just to change up the routine a little bit. Or I might decide that when I run to the bathroom first thing in the morning, instead of running back to bed and resting and doing prayer work, I stop and I started to brush my teeth. And I thought, well, that's curious. That's kind of nice. And then I realized, hey, that's kind of cool. One less thing when I am getting ready to go to work or be around the house. So when we take a look, so much of our routine is on automatic. It's on rote. And when we are on automatic, when we are on rote, we miss the beauty, the serenity, the joy of the moment. We miss looking out the window and seeing that a spider has built a web over the top half of the window outside. We miss that. We're too busy. We have our head down. We have our blinders on. So how do we really start to see things with fresh eyes? How do we do this? How do we become more alert and aware of what's going on? How do we spend more time in that awareness rather than our thinking head? And our thinking head loves to have automatic. It's like an answering machine. When you pick it up, you always have the same message. Well, that is how our mind works. It has a storehouse of things, and as we encounter different situations, it simply goes back to its storehouse and figures out, the best thing that we should do, and that's the idea that pops into our head. Oh, I know what to do. The longest distance that we have to travel in our life, the longest distance is the 18 inches between our head and our heart. The longest journey. When we begin to move from what our mind is telling us from the past and see things fresh and new in the present moment. See and that's why I like to call it fresh eyes. It's like we're seeing things totally different from a different perspective. Now, it didn't take me but a few seconds to stop and enjoy that cobweb and the spider. I was kind of excited because my first thought was not, oh, gee, I'm going to have to clean the outside of the window. And in fact, that thought didn't even come into my mind. It was like, oh my goodness, look what that spider did seemingly overnight. And the sun was just enough on it, and there was a kind of like a little bit of dampness on it. It was incredible. And when we see with fresh eyes, that's the energy that ripples out. That's the energy that's coming out from us. When we have our head down and we're in our routine, that's what goes out to us. So we either are contracting out or we are expanding down. I picked up my oldest daughter on Thursdays. We like to go food shopping together. And we, between the two of us, we laugh because it seems like we find so many sales, so many discounts, and we just kind of giggle when we find them and say, "Oh my goodness!" We were driving on the way to the grocery store, and we go by a 9/11 memorial. And it is beautiful. It is by the side of the road. There's adequate parking, but being spring, I've been watching it because the daffodils are always the first to come out in the area just because of how they're sheltered and how the sun hits them. And as we got close to it, I looked over and they were lush. They were beautiful. They were just daffodils and daffodils and more daffodils and more daffodils. And my daughter was talking and looking straight ahead. And I'm saying, Kimberly, look, go over here. Look up, look to your left, to your left. And she said, Mom, and she turned and she looked. And all thoughts of talking about groceries were gone. And she, in the moment, she took a breath in. Oh, Mom. She saw with fresh eyes. And those kind of things just kind of can just pop up all over the time. We can do those at home. We can do them when we're out. We can do that every place we go. Is it possible to greet the person in the checkout lady or man in the grocery store with fresh eyes? To see them, to actually see them. So, what happens when we begin to see with fresh eyes? Our perspective on life begins to change because we have a different view. Reminds me of the three blind men that were trying to figure out what an elephant was. And the one blind man was on the side of him and putting his hands up and he's feeling the side of the elephant. And he says, "Oh, an elephant is like a wall." And the one at the front of the elephant said, "Oh no," he was feeling his trunk. He says, "It's like a snake. An elephant is more like a snake." And then the one in the back of the elephant said, "No, elephants are thin and wiry," because he was holding on to the tail. And in fact, all of them were right. They were seeing from different perspectives. And that's such an important key that we can be looking at something and everyone can have a different perspective on it. And each one could be right. So it's important to be aware of different perspectives, but also, really being aware of seeing things and actually those fresh eyes are coming from our heart. It's our heart being open. When my grandson was little, and I had just moved into the area, I had 40 great northern geese that like to fly into my yard from the lake behind the house. Needless to say, uh, one or two are okay, but when you get 40 in your yard, it leaves a mess. And I was, trying to figure out, how to, I had fence up, I did all different things. They had not yet been trained, and yes, you can train Great Northern geese to respond to clapping, to get them to go back into the lake. Hadn't had them trained yet, and my grandson was coming over, and he was in second grade, and I had him after school, and he was coming over the one day, and I realized I really needed to be cleaning up the backyard. And so he came over, and I I don't know. I was trying to think of how to explain what I wanted to do. And the words that came out was, Mason, would you like to have a shit flipping contest? And his eyes got real big. He says, Grandma, you're not supposed to say that word. That's not a nice word. And I said, well, I think it's okay because it's the name of a game. And it's a game that nobody else knows except you and me. And he said, well, how do we do it? And I gave him a cat's litter scoop, and I got one. And I said, what we're going to do, we're just going to start flicking everything and see if we can get it so it goes over the side of the yard and into the lake. Well, being very little, he couldn't hit it that far. He couldn't flick it that far. And I said, that's okay. It gets closer, and we had a ball. Well, he went home all excited, dropped him off at the home, and I knew I'd be getting a telephone call. And the telephone call was, Mom, at supper tonight, Mason was all excited about a shit flicking contest. Mom, we don't use that word. And he told me it was okay because it's only at grandma's and it's only when we play the game. And I said, well, yeah, it kind of slipped out like that. I didn't know what I was going to call it, and that kind of flipped out. He is now 30. And he every now and then will look at me and he'll get kind of a smile in his eyes and say, hey, Grandma, any time for a shit flicking contest? Seeing things with fresh eyes give us new experiences. And we carry those with us. It's just, and the key to what we're doing is that we are enlarging our perspective and how we view the world when we see through fresh eyes. The eclipse is coming up tomorrow. Very exciting. And in the grocery store this week, they had a counter out, a special setup, and they had those huge cookies that you can get for birthdays and anniversaries. Well, they had it for the total eclipse, and it had the eclipse on it. I mean, very well done. And they also had mini muffins and regular muffins. I mean, they had outdone themselves in different things that you could buy to enjoy the eclipse. And I was standing there and I was waiting for my daughter. She had forgotten something, so she was running back to get that before we went back to the car. And I noticed there was one of the checkout ladies at the desk talking to whoever the people are behind the desk that take care of the different challenges and all that the customers have. And she was walking away and she came over and she stood on the other side of this table, was kind of looking down at it, and she didn't have very good, she was not happy. And she was just kind of staring at it, and our eyes kind of met, and I was looking down and I saw her and I looked up and she looked up and I said, hello. And she said, hello. and I said, and I complimented her on what all the creativity and all. And she says, yeah, they look good. And they had us taste all of them because they wanted us to be able to say that, a customer might say, hey, how do they taste? I mean, that's always my question. And I kind of smiled and she said, yeah, and I don't know what to do because I tasted all of them. The big cookies taste really great, but everything else had a weird flavor in it. It was kind of metallic and it kind of left kind of a dryness in and I didn't like them at all. And they wanted us to say to customers, oh, yes, they're all good. And she said, I can't do that. And I got thinking about it and I went up to let them know that I can't do that. I can't lie. And I looked at her a minute. I said, wow. I said, well, that's the one my daughter and I decided to get the large cookie. So we're getting the good one. And I looked at her a minute and I said, well, if somebody asked you that, would it be okay to say the one I like the best is the large one and tell them you like the taste the best? And she looked at me and got this big smile on her face. And she said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it was it was exactly what she needed, totally unexpected. And she walked away happy. I walked away with my daughter happy. So I have an invitation for you today. And my invitation is to begin seeing life with fresh eyes. Seeing life with fresh eyes. And that means, in order to see with fresh eyes, of course, that means you have to be here in the present moment. And the only way I know to be in the present moment is to focus on my breathing. But when we do see with fresh eyes and we spend more time here, what are we doing? We are enjoying the richness. We are enjoying the beauty of discovering things. When was the last time you really, really went outside and looked at a tree? I have 2 oak trees in my front yard. They are over 75 years old, and this is a glorious time, late fall, winter, and early spring, because you can see all the limbs. Oh my goodness, they are so gorgeous, and then I can also see the squirrel nests, how many survived the winter, and it is so inspiring. And please remember, we are very indebted to nature. And we need to continually, especially see nature through fresh eyes, because it's our air exchange that we have with nature. They take in the CO2 and give us oxygen. We take in the oxygen and give off the CO2. So we're in a relationship uh, with nature, and it is a very, very important one. And then one of the things that I enjoy in the morning when I get up, uh, while I'm waiting for my breakfast to cook, I look out the window and I just say, my lungs are in the trees and my lungs are in me. Without the trees, I would cease to be. And just really, and as the days get nicer, I'll be outside saying that and acknowledge them. It's the freshness, and that freshness also, that freshness also means that whatever happens, is it possible to see it from a fresh eyes, from a heart first perspective, rather than oh, this is terrible, awful, this is going to happen because this is happening. last Wednesday, I was playing pickleball, and my partner was in the back of the court, and I on the left side, and I was halfway up on the front side, and the return was close to the net on her side, and I was closest, so I go running to hit a backhand. And in the process of running and leaning into it, I fell down. And it was the most exciting thing, one of the top things in my whole life. It was so exciting because as I reached and I realized I was going down, suddenly it was in slow motion. It was so incredible. I was reaching, I was falling, and if when I grew up, Smokey the Bear was very popular, and only you could prevent forest fires. And he also talked about stop, drop, and roll. And we went ahead, we went ahead and in our high school, they took us into gym class and taught us how to stop, drop, and roll. And I have used it maybe 3 or 4 times in my whole life. This and I went so anyway, I was reaching and I was starting to roll. The tendency is when we fall to brace ourselves. And when you brace yourself, that's where you run into problems. You have to relax into the fall. And I rolled over. I hit on my I hit there, and I don't remember hitting. What I remember was going down and rolling. And when you roll, you take the force out of it. But what made it so extra exciting this time that I've never done before, roll over twice. Ah, it was a double roll. I rolled completely around. I went around a second time, and when I came up sitting. And I'm like, and of course everyone is rushing in from all the courts to because whenever somebody falls, everyone all the games stop. And I'm saying, wow, did you see that? A double roll. And they're saying, are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, yes, I'm okay. I rolled. I rolled. And they were just kind of looking at me. And one of the guys came over and he said, "You're really okay?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, sit there for a few minutes and let me and when you're ready, I'll help you get up." And I said, "Okay, fine. I need to just kind of brush off my arms and legs a little bit." And what I was doing was smoothing out the energy. And just I said, "Just let me just kind of take it here this a minute." I said, "But did you see it? It was a double roll. I've never done a double roll." And I was so excited. Long and the short of it, they got an ice pack for my knee. It did not hit my knee. It hit to the side of my kneecap. And there was a little, oh, maybe a quarter size brush burn there. And that was it. That was it. And I thought, oh my goodness, I certainly was seeing that in with fresh eyes. I was certainly in the moment. And then one of the ladies I play with, she sat down with me and she says, "I got to tell you, you have now, you are now my most prized memory of what to do in an accident." She said, "I've always held this image of a bicyclist who something happened, he hit something and he uh, rolled over the front of his bike." And he said what made it so outstanding was it was a double roll. He said, "I've never seen anyone fall and do a double roll before." She says, "You're my hero." I said, "Well, I don't know about being a hero," but I said, "That was totally wild." So, is it possible to see is it possible to see with fresh eyes? Is it possible? And, we need to continually remember that we live in a beautiful world. It's filled with many surprises. It's filled with beauty, just waiting for us to enjoy. That doesn't mean there aren't wars. That doesn't mean there aren't earthquakes and open borders. It doesn't mean that there aren't problems. What it does mean is that we can surround ourselves with strong positive energy. And as we do that, that is the energy that we are sending out to the world. And this story, to me, it really gets exciting because it's the butterfly effect. Remember the butterfly effect? Um, the butterfly, small wings, sends a ripple. It's a very soft, gentle one, and it goes around the world. What we do, our actions can go around the world. Guess what I really am saying is, as I move more and more in seeing with fresh eyes, it is showing me how we can bring peace and right action into the world. And it gets because if all this little butterfly effect is going around the world and we're adding to it, it will have a very strong effect on the world. And what's even better, I got really excited because I thought, that's our part. Have you ever said, well, what's my part? What can I do to really affect positive change? What can I do? Here's one thing that we can do: see things with fresh eyes. It's my part. It could be your part in world peace, in prosperity, and in joy. So, how can life get better than that? If you've done what you always do, you'll get what you've always had. Thanks for this morning. Thanks for being together.
Thank you, Carol Ann. That was beautiful. I really like that. That double roll. Wow. That was fantastic. And then, yeah, I really like the fact that seeing the fresh eye, you go through your fresh eyes, to see it a little bit different way of looking at it. And that makes such a difference. And I really appreciate that. I'm going to turn this over to Michael or Tim. It looks like they both have comments, so I'm going to just let them go.
Well, I was going to say thank you, Carolyn. That's excellent. I'm gonna steal your cookie story. So just to let you know, so if you have that copyright, I'll need to get the copyright.
Absolutely not. I don't. Books are the only thing I get copyrighted.
Okay,
No.
I'm just kidding. But no, I think that and I did take a few notes, and I think for me it was also, what, in seeing things with fresh eyes, what is my attitude? Is my attitude that when I drop, the worst thing going to happen, or is my attitude that, well, somehow or another it's going to work out? I always remember the story for me about uh, uh, an author friend of mine who's always having just lots of she's always just grateful about everything, always grateful. And so I went up to, it was like a psychic fair or something. I went up there and I went there to see her and her husband, and so I go up there. They did not see me. I didn't think that they saw me. So I'm going down the hallway, and then when I'm coming out of the men's room, I'm going back to the hall, and she says, "Oh," she says, I just came to see you to say thank you for coming." And again, I for me, I carry that in, how am I seeing the world? And that I like the whole idea of about seeing from a fresh perspective. Maybe it's a good idea once in a while to not go the way that we've always gone, to go ahead and to go in a different way, to, if we can get up on the other side of the bed, is to do so. If we can brush our teeth with the other, try it sometime, brush your teeth with the other hand. Do things differently. And I think that's, and also, what is my perspective in all of this? My perspective is that this cookie is wonderful. I would recommend that cookie, rather than going ahead and making it, that I have to lie or I have to do things like that. That was an excellent talk, Caroline. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a fun talk to do. And it was one of those that just opened up for me. And it was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and I can put in this, and I can put in this, and I can put in.
Kyle, did you have a comment, or Tim?
Put in the shit chucking contest or whatever that was called.
I got me.
Hey,
Go
if
ahead.
she can say it, I can say it.
Yeah, those words don't come out of my mouth, and it came out. I do have to tell you, I had many telephone calls from my daughter about what I was teaching my grandson. And well, and it wasn't that I was trying to use, I know she called me the one time because at lunch we had macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. And I put the hot dog on his plate and the macaroni, and he looked at me and he says, well, aren't you going to cut my hot dog? And I said, no, I thought you would cut it. And he says, I'm not allowed to use sharp knives. And I said, Mason, look, this knife is not sharp. And I just went like this. I said, you feel that? That's sharp. I said, I bet you can do it. And he said, well, how do I do it? And I said, well, you put your fork in and you just cut it. And he put his fork in and he's going, he's working hard. I mean, he mangled this hot dog. He was so excited. He went home and I don't know what they were having for supper, but his mom came over to cut the meat up, and he says, no, Mom, you don't have to do that anymore. I know how to cut my own meat. And so I knew that I would get a telephone call and it would be, Mom, I wasn't ready for Mason to use a knife. And I said, oh, well, it's a dull knife. I mean, but I think I think the more, didn't make any sense. I know it did, but that's what popped in my head. But I think the more that we are in the present moment, we discover so many things that makes life, happy all the time, and it makes life laughing, and it makes life enjoyable. Plus, there used to be laughter therapy and that you needed to have so many laughs every day, you needed to have so many hugs every day, and everything. And we've gotten away from seeing the cup full. I'm going to say full, because my oldest daughter, one time I had said that was the cup half empty or cup half full, and she said, Mom, it's full all the time. And I looked at her and said, how did you do this? I mean, she was in 6th grade. And she says, well, because it's full of physical love. The rest of it's filled with God love. So it's full all the time.
Oh, wonderful.
And I think all those things are so available for us.
All right. Kyle, I know you turned off your mute. Were you going to say something? Or if not, I'm going to have Tim do a song.
Oh, yeah. I just wondered if were you talking about Canadian geese?
Great
And the storm-
Northerns, yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are messy birds.
Well, they grow to be 40 pounds. My goodness, you get 40 of them in your yard. I mean, it's like
A major.
they didn't tell me this when I bought the house.
Major dumping ground. Okay. Well, Tim, would you like to do a song for us?
And this was written by my good friend, Reverend Janet Childs. Brilliant metaphysical mind and all around great gal. Fantastic musician. Beyond the land of right and wrong, may we meet in harmony. Beyond the judgment and the fear, we reach out our hands and we are here. Let our hearts shine, shine in each other's energy. And all the moments in our heart's song, we are peaceful and strong. Let the river flow, flow through ourselves. Let us hold each other until we're whole. We meet beyond the land of right and wrong, and we reach out our hands, and we are heart strong, heart strong, heart strong. We are heart strong. Heart strong, heart strong, we are. Heart strong, heart strong, we are. Heart strong, heart strong, heart strong, we are. Affirm it to yourself. Heart strong, we are. Heart strong, heart strong, heart strong, we are. Heart strong, we are. Heart strong, heart strong, heart strong, we are. Heart strong, we are. Heart strong, we are. Heart strong.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Oh.
you. And thank you to Janet,
Yes.
wherever you are.
That was wonderful. Thank you. All right. So that is that time in our service where we give everybody the opportunity to give. There are a couple ways you can do that. You can go to Zelle and you can go to SSC of Akron at gmail.com and you can give online that way. Or you can write a check with the word summit on it. And we would send that check to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. And even though we don't actually meet in a regular place, we still have bills. And we very much appreciate those who do give. And so just as you take your offering in your heart, in your hand, type right top over left. And just know with me that all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive is blessed in a very special way. And that it not only goes to the work of Summit Center for Spiritual Living, that it goes back to the world and it comes back to the giver 10 times or more. And so it is. Amen. All right.
Still haven't learned your Good More Good song, but hopefully this will do.
Okay.
All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly. All I give comes back to me, blesses me abundantly.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love Karen Drucker. And when John was gone for a while and living down south, when we still had our service, and I had to take care of trying to lead the music. Good thing I had Karen Drucker songs in background. So that's what we did. Okay, so there's time for announcements. Anybody?
ntmedia.org. That's ntmedia.org, and lots of wonderful things. And you can even catch me praying. And as much as I can, I put it on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page. So there should be no reason. You get all the good stuff there. So, all right. Thank you. But I thank you, Tim. That was, I mean, the music is just wonderful. Loved again that's shows again we have music from around the world. I think we have the best music, and if you go on the ntmedia.org page, click on New Thought Radio. Want to hear some wonderful music. New Thought ntmedia.org and click on New Thought Radio. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, then unless there's any other announcements, we're going to do a moment of silence, and I'm going to bring us in and I'll ring us out. But I would like you to take into mind, bring into your hearts and into your thoughts anybody who may need some healing, whether it be yourself, family member, coworker, the world, whatever it may be, and just know that everything that is needed is happening right now for them in a very special way. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right, Jim's going to lead us in a closing song now.
I don't know if you guys, I guess John still does this at the end. We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of peace. We are the people of peace. Sing out, people, sing out peace. We are the people of peace. We are the people of joy. We are the people of joy. Sing out, people, sing out joy. We are the people of joy. We are the people of love. We are the people of love. Sing out, people, sing out love. We are the people of love. We are the people of love.
Okay,
So
thank
we-
you so much. And Hannah, if you'll finish our Facebook feed, that would be great. And let us know when it's done. But thank you again, Carol Ann, beautiful message. Thank you, Tim, for the beautiful music. Thank you, Hannah, for doing the Facebook feed for us, and Kyle being here, Michael being here. So anyways, thank you.
That was outstanding. Thank you, everyone.